Hi friends, it's Brandon. You're watching Jozi to Germany again. So this video is going to be slightly different. As you can see, I am having a walk. So today we are going to look at how to use the German trains. In other words, the Deutsche Bahn. Because this is going to be mainly a one-shot video, there's not going to be much editing, so sorry about that. Let's get started. How do you use the German trains? Step number one, although it may be slightly obvious, is that we need to walk to our train station. Let's go! You know, I was just thinking, it's actually so awkward that I have to strategically plan and time when I film these videos, because sometimes there are people walking around and you know, it's just quite awkward talking to a camera. You know, you walk past people, they stare at you and they're like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, I am talking to YouTube, and they are like, was ist dann YouTube? No, I'm kidding. You know. But yeah, check it out. There's the train tracks. Not sure if y'all can see it. And on that side too. Isn't this just so aesthetically pleasing? Like kilometers and miles and all that nonsense of train track. It's really nice. Anyway, back to the walk. See you at the station. So as you can see, we are approaching the train station. Now there are two kinds of train stations in Germany. There are your Hauptbahnhofs, which means main station, and then there are your sort of, I don't know what the names of these stations are, the secondary stations. They normally only have two rail tracks. One will go this way, which is the one I'm taking, and the other will go that way into the distance. So anyway, I will show you what a main station or Hauptbahnhof looks like when we get there, but just so you know, this is a main station. Onto the process. La 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 la. So now we are here. Now the thing is, if you are new to riding trains in Germany, like I was once upon a time, you should look for a few things. I want to say 2 or 3 things, right? Firstly, you can look for a notice board like this, which will have all the train times. However, you should really download the Deutsche Bahn app. It's super useful. Next, you should look for one of these machines, right? And then, if possible, you could look for one of these machines. So now you can see that we are looking at one of these operating machines, right? It says Deutsche Bahn on it, and they all look basically the same, although this one is kind of, it's had its days, let's put it this way, okay? Now on here, on the screen, it's a very bright day, and I don't know if anyone can see this, right? But at the bottom, there will be some language options. They've got for German, English, French, Italian, Spanish, and Turkish. And basically, what you want to do is you will go at the top here where it says Von, and click on that, and then you would basically input your destination. Now because I have a travel card for the German trains, I will just put in an example destination. Okay, so let's just say we're starting at Heidelberg Hauptbahnhof, right? And then yeah, go on, weiter. Okay, and then this is where you want to travel to, Mannheim Hauptbahnhof, for example. Then it'll say Ein Moment bitte, which is 1 moment please, and it will show you the tariffs for the train. And it will show you the next available train. So let's just say I want to ride, I don't know, this one. Okay? Yeah, let's do that. Okay? Now, it'll give you one last chance to change your input, what you've put in. So you can say weiter, which means go on. And then I'm not going to actually say weiter, I will say cancel, because this is all just for show. Basically then what will happen is it will tell you how much money you need to pay. You can all see my lovely Nirvana shirt here. And then you can pay over here. So there's a few options for payments. You can either obviously use a bank card, like over here, or you can use cash, which is what I always prefer to do because the tickets are usually like €4 each. Your change will come out through there, and if you've bought an all-day ticket, you would put it in here so that it would be stamped, and then that would be the start of your 24 hours. Now we just wait for our train. Yeah, so what I really like about this app is, firstly, you can input it in basically any language you want, or receive input in any language you want. So obviously I've set mine to English. Now obviously these are all kind of direct translations, and sometimes there will just not be translations for certain things, so it will stay in German. However, for the most part, this app is honestly, I would say, in the top 5 most useful apps I've ever had. okay? And just in general, I would have gotten lost so many times without this app. So let's get started, right? Firstly, what you will want to do is enter your destination, okay? I mean, your departure point. So obviously I've put Heidelberg Hauptbahnhof. It's really useful because you can just click on it. It'll have all of your saved up locations nearby. Let me just put in Hamburg as a random place. And let's just say I want to go from Hamburg to Paris. I want to click on here. Let's say I want to travel from Hamburg to Paris on the 11th of May, and my departure time will be at 12:30. Now, I would like to travel with first class, and yeah, let's add a third adult. This is all completely made up and ridiculous, by the way. Now we click search. Obviously, I've entered something completely ridiculous, so there will be no options that come up. However, if I show you options for one of the more regular journeys that I make, let's have a look. Heidelberg Hauptbahnhof over here. And let's go, I don't know, let's go Mannheim Hauptbahnhof and search. Now we can see that there are plenty of options, right? So over here, the starting time says 12:30 at the top left. Then the ending time will be 12:44. In other words, the train will arrive at Mannheim Hauptbahnhof 12:30, and the train will be labeled S3, right? That's just the train number. And then the journey will end at Heidelberg Hauptbahnhof 12:44. Now what's really cool about this is you can see the duration of the journey. It's 0 hours 14 minutes and with 0 stopovers. We can click on it and see where the train is. You can see the bar on the left hand side has not been filled up with red yet because the journey obviously has not happened yet. So this train will be labeled S3 and its end destination. So what's great about this is it will show you, as you can see on the right hand side, that the platform you will need to take will be platform 10, for example, and you will end off at platform 8. You can click on this little arrow over here and it will show you all of the sub-stops that the train will also stop at along the way that you should not get off at. And even better, you can click on this giant S over here and it will show you the current progress of the train. Now, obviously, normally this bar on the left-hand side will be filling up with red and show you where the train is, but because I have put it as a trip for next month, the train has not even started on that day yet. Now, this is one of the most useful items to have, truly and honestly, and it has saved my life. So this part would have been way too loud for me to have actually recorded on video because that was when my train arrived. So this next part will just be a little how-to guide on getting into the train. It's not that hard. Firstly, what you need to know is that on the door there will be a green button for you to push when the train arrives. This is what the door looks like. I couldn't get the button. Next thing is that if anyone wants to come out, it's common train etiquette to let them out first before you go in. And when you are coming out of the train, that's me stepping in by the way, then you have right of way outwards. So it applies to everyone. Most trains will have a picture like this, which will be a map of all of the routes that are available to that train or to similar trains like it in your common area. If you look at those maps, and there should be one at the main stations too, you should always be able to figure out where exactly you are. Okay, so this is Heidelberg Hauptbahnhof. As you can see, it is a rather large building. In most Hauptbahnhofs there is this thing called a Reisezentrum, which is like a German version of saying travel center, hosted by the Deutsche Bahn itself, which is the German train company, right? They usually have a little board or a giant board like this that show you the times that certain trains, or in this case the street trams and buses outside, will depart. So that being said, congratulations and surprise, there are usually places for a street bus or tram outside the station, like the one you can see pulling in here. So I hope everyone enjoyed learning about the Deutsche Bahn today and how to ride it. This video will be the first of many in part of a mini-series I will make called the Deutsche Bahn. Wow! Yeah, hope you guys liked it, stay tuned, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, or if you're feeling generous, you could even buy me a year-long Deutsche Bahn ticket. No, I'm kidding, you could just subscribe. Have a nice day and auf Wiedersehen.